Pietromonaco with my guest, Janis Ian.
Hi, Don.
How are you?
Fine.
Good. So much has been said about you. It's hard to go back over without reiterating what's been said. I think very few people get to talk to you. You probably don't get to talk to yourself very much lately.
Not lately, no.
You're kind of hectic, huh?
It's been pretty crazy.
For those of you that don't know, Janice had a tremendous hit. 1966, wasn't it?
67.
67. Society's Child. About an interracial romance. It was kind of a stormy record. A lot of disc jockeys, refused to play it.
I don't think it was the jocks. I think it was the program directors.
Right.
I don't think the jocks would have cared one way or the other.
Yeah. But at any rate, it became a tremendous hit. #1 across the nation on charts. The big stations, KLIF, KXOK, WABC. And then all of a sudden, silence, right?
Right.
And it must have really done a thing to your mind. And you probably had to make peace with yourself in that time, right?
I just had to get away from everybody I was working with, I think. Everybody I was having to deal with.
What did you think in that time? Did you think, geez, 5 minutes ago, everybody really thought I was the happening thing, and now...
No, because I quit. Nobody pushed me out.
It was of your own volition, you just said.
Yeah, I stopped at the end of, middle of 68, about 8 months after it was a hit.
Really? What motivated that? Why did you just...
I was tired of dealing with fools.
That's how you felt? It was just
insane. There's a lot of real fools in this business. A lot of real dummies. And, they usually manage to take up more of your time than anybody else, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, I quit.
So that's it, everybody out of the pool.
Yep.
So then, in this period, from 67, it's almost 77, it's 9.5 years, huh?
Yeah, it's a long time.
Did you want to get back in?
I didn't want to get back in until about 73, I guess. 72. 73.
Why?
Didn't need it. Wasn't interested. There wasn't anything for me in it.
Well, that was good, but I meant, why did you want to did you have it together then and say, okay?
I wanted to make a record. I was tired of sitting around with songs. I wanted to cut stars and get back in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, there wasn't any good reason,
But you knew the fools were still there.
Oh, sure, but
So you were able to cope?
Well, I know I can always leave. I don't have to be here.
That's right.
It takes a long time to learn that.
That's right. So you went in fully knowledgeable of what happens, what could happen, and what you could do.
Insofar as you can be, yeah.
What about the reaction after you cut and everybody started falling down? Or did they?
No, nobody would buy stars. We tried to get a contract for 2 years for the album Stars. And we finally we went to Australia, and an Australian company paid for it. And then Columbia bought it.
That's right, it was your big hit down under.
Yeah.
And the ball started rolling.
Yeah, it took a long time.
Did you care that it was successful then? Did it excite your mind?
I like the album, Stars. Successful is, it depends on what you're grading it on. If you grade it on top 20, no, I didn't care, because you don't have many top 20 hits, out of all the records that are released. If success is being able to get work, yeah, I cared, because I needed the work. But I guess to an extent, success is predicated on a top 20 hit right now.
Society success.
No, success in terms of making a living, And it's hard to be humble and proud when you're starving. Not that I was starving, but even when you're hungry.
Yeah. So then it started to happen. Then Columbia said, wait a minute. Remember Janis Ian, right?
Yeah, Columbia worked. Columbia worked real hard. But then we cut between the lines. and I was 17. And that, I think, made life a lot easier.
Did they know when you were cutting it? I know the excitement and energy was in the studio. I can hear it. But did the people around say, "Oh wow, this is really going to be one"?
No, I don't think so. No, you can't tell. You can't say that.
You could tell.
No.
You couldn't tell?
No, I don't pretend to know about that. That's other people's job.
You just did your best and hoped.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now it comes out. And now everybody starts to fall down over it. Janice Ian, Between the Lines. How did you feel inside?
It was nice. It's always nice to be vindicated, It's always nice to have people apologize. Always a pleasure not to need them quite as badly. And it's nice to have the work.
Do you feel that that you're a different person than you were in the 9-year hiatus that you took?
No.
The success hasn't changed you?
But I've been through it once before, I went through it and got done with that end of it. I hope.
Why don't we listen to Society's Child?
Come to my door, baby.
On TWA, this is Pietromonaco with my in-person guest, Janis Ian. And that was the big hit from 1967, Society's Child. And now, if you don't know, I'll tell you, Janis Ian just won Best Pop Vocalist Female at the Grammy Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Saw
up
you
there.
up there.
That was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really had a good time that night. I was real scared, and it worked out okay. It was nice. I never knew they gave standing ovations to people who weren't dead. It was a great pleasure.
Did you have any ESP going? Did you feel that it was going to happen like that?
No. You never know. No, I don't think so. I thought maybe I would luck in and get an award.
Well, let me ask you, since you're a very real person, you really tell it like you feel, what about people like Marlon Brando that don't show up for awards?
It's their business, that's how he feels. It has nothing to do with me, though. I'll show up for anything anybody want to give me.
But you looked happy that night, and I'm sure...
Well, it's great. If you spend 3 years trying to get a record deal and then trying to get a hit, it's nice. It's nice for everybody to wake up and say good morning.
Oh, you felt vindicated.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Goose pimples all over your body.
I don't remember if I had that, but I felt good about it.
Well, we talked about the Stars album. I'd like to go back. This is the album that was the big success down under, and it took a couple of years to work and work. You must have one in particular, a favorite from the Stars album that maybe you would like to share with everybody right now on TWA.
Man, You Are and Me. I like that.
I love the changing season.
The Man You Are and Me, Janis Ian from the Stars album here on TWA. Your host, Pietromonaco, with Janis Ian, the Grammy Award winner for Best Pop Vocalist Female.
Pish posh.
What?
Pish posh.
Now, wait a minute.
My mother was so impressed. It was really nice.
Was Mom there?
Mm-hmm.
You brought her out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she cried. My father cried. Everybody cried. It was funny. I didn't cry. I just forgot my speech, that's all.
It's, I wondered.
I had this terrific speech, and I forgot it. So everybody wouldn't sit down, and everybody kept standing there clapping, and I kept forgetting my speech.
Janis, they wanted you to win so bad. I wanted you to win.
I know, it was terrific. It was really fun.
Did you feel all that love in the room?
I think I was kind of stunned, I don't think I was feeling much of anything except, phew.
You know what? I think that I have a little thing that I think about life. I think you get back what you give.
Mm-hmm. Karma.
And I think you're getting it back.
Well, I hope so.
Long wait?
Long time, yeah. long time.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it goes like that.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call it? Universal justice?
Mm-hmm.
I've read an awful lot of reviews. A lot of people call you spellbinding. So one reviewer said the torchy adult voice.
I should hope so.
How do you feel? What do you feel that your image is? When
I don't know. I
You
don't
don't
know.
think about it.
No.
You're just going to get up and do what you
It's
do.
just my job, do my job, do it well.
Can you feel when you're doing it well?
Oh, sure. Sure, if I like what I'm doing it well.
Would you rather perform live
Then what?
than on vinyl?
Oh, it's two different things. It's really two whole different arts.
Which one's your favorite?
Neither. Yeah, you can't differentiate. That's like saying which hand do you like better, your left or your right. I mean, it's just two different things.
That's good. Like, we're in effect doing the same thing on the airplane right now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Hi Jerry, hi Sue.
Right.
Right.
Hi, folks.
Right. You fly much? Oh,
Yeah.
boy, do I fly.
Yeah.
Right.
At least 3 times a week, and usually 5.
Did you pick the books in the Janice in the Afternoon?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Anger, How to Stay Alive in the Wood.
Yeah, that's a great book. Angier, I think he says his name.
Angers. What did I say? Anger?
Yeah.
Right. You know where I was coming from. A lot of people describe you as hostile.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I get bored easily, I think.
What? I'm trying to remember a quote I read. Unscrupulously hostile? No.
No, I've never been unscrupulous.
Just hostile.
If I was hostile, there was a good reason for it.
Oh, you were around fools.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you go to an interview with some guy who's I don't know, just finished cheating his best friend, and he wants to know why you won't do the same,
Mm-hmm.
Or he expects the same of you, or they expect you to kind of walk around saying, well, I'm great and you're great, and, kissing each other all the time.
What do you do now?
I
You
just
need
don't
that.
go.
Well, what if you
I
find
stay
yourself
home.
caught on a luncheon like this and this
Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. I don't have lunches, for a start. But I avoid those people now. I mean, everybody knows who they are. In general, it's a type, I think.
Yeah.
That's me.
Why don't we play something from the Janice in the Afternoon album?
Aftertones. I'm sorry, you got the title wrong. It's Aftertones.
What did I say, Afternoon?
That's all right. Everybody keeps doing that. I don't
It's
know
Janice in the
Swing. Just
Oh,
once. That's
thanks.
everybody's doing that. I don't know why.
Janice in the Aftertones.
How about Boy Really Tied One On?
You got it.
I really tied one on.
On TWA, our in-person guest, Janis Ian, from the Janice and the Aftertones album. Boy, you really tied one up. You write everything.
I write a lot. That's true, yes.
And when you go to put music to it, where do you get your motivation?
All happens at the same time.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're writing it, you hear it?
Yeah. Part of the job.
That's
part
great.
of the trick. Yeah.
I never understood that. How one guy
I
writes
think
the
everybody
lyrics.
does. I mean, unless you write them separately. Even then, the lyricist has some vague idea of the rhythm and stuff.
You
Always.
think so?
Oh, yeah, you
He goes
have
and
to.
he stamps his foot and goes, no, 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 no.
Sure,
no.
for it to scan. Sure.
What?
For it to scan.
Yeah.
He has to. I mean, Bernie Taupin must, go to Elton and say, this goes da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then there's a stop, and then it starts over again.
And then it grows from there.
Right.
But the origination,
Mm-hmm.
the original motivation, it all came from that impetus, and they go, oh, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that basic is still there.
Uh,
Probably.
yeah,
Most of the
I would
time.
think so, yeah. I would think it's got to be. I don't see any other way to do it.
Well, now that it's really happened for you, and I don't see any way to get out of it, Janet. If you
What?
wanted to. Oh, no.
Oh, to get out? Oh,
You
sure.
could say you could just turn around and walk away.
I could always go home and just stay there for a couple of years. Sure.
Manhattan.
Yeah. Well, it's harder to lose yourself in Manhattan, though. I guess if you wanted to quit, you'd do better going to Vermont or somewhere.
Well, now that you've got a hold of your life, not that you ever didn't have, because I always think you knew what you're doing now that I've talked to you, and I never really had a chance to spend this much time. I was a disc jockey in 1967, and I played Society's Child.
Right. So you didn't care if it was controversial, right? All the better.
I looked for attitudes and anecdotal things in hit records, and I loved other mental states.
Right, right.
I wanted to hear it. Oh, wow.
Right.
It's a hit in Detroit? Well, let me hear it. There must be some reason why everybody likes it, right?
Right. It's a whole different thing. That's changed too, though, I think, that attitude.
The disc jockey attitude?
The program director attitude.
Well, people don't really know that. You know, they just listen to the radio, and what really worries me about America is that the people who really do good jobs, let's take a restaurant, which is similar to an album in a way. You prepare the best food you can, right? Mm-hmm. And people don't go out of their way to say thank you. They pay their bill and they leave. But if you go to a bad food place, they sure complain. A lot of people don't even complain. They still leave.
Right.
So in other words, here's the line. There's a line. And a lot of people really try to pass that line and surpass it and really give their best and what they really feel their karma is. But people don't seem to be appreciative of that.
I don't think people are made aware of it.
Well, somehow when they don't react to beautiful things or the real truth gets watered down, diluted.
Yeah, but it does out in the end. I mean, look at 17. You know, it does happen in the end. If you push long enough. If you work long enough.
In the end or the beginning, right?
Yeah, right. However you want to look at it. I mean, I always think the truth outs in the end. One way or another, you know, because that's what people really want to hear in the end. Once you can get past all the nonsense and the behavioral reactions, you know, that have been laid on them. That's all they really want. And look at Watergate. You know, all anybody wanted was for somebody to stand up and say, okay, I did it, and I'm sorry, and I'll do whatever I have to do to make up for it. That's all anybody wanted to hear.
I didn't feel like anybody said that.
No, nobody did. But if somebody had said it, he would have been a hero.
That's right. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
I felt very unsatisfied by that.
That's right.
There was no obligatory scene.
Right. There should have been a scene at the end of the movie where Gregory Peck is wearing his barrister's robe and wig and says, all right, sentences, and somebody jumps up and says, wait, I'm guilty. You know, nobody did it.
Right. It was just kind of hazy gray.
But you missed it.
No payoff.
Everybody missed it.
Well,
and all they had to do was tell the truth, and everybody would have loved them.
But according to your philosophy, that's going to happen.
Eventually, yeah. Well, it will. Eventually, I think the truth will get out. I don't think that anyone will confess to it, though. I don't think they understand that principle in that league.
No, but it's so simple.
I know.
It's right on the tip of
everybody's...
everybody's...
Yeah, but see, people who make their livings by lying, I don't think ever believe that there's another way. You know, it's the devil you know.
Oh, wow.
You see the same with singers and performers who, I don't know, make their livings being rude, you know, or make their livings writing songs that hate people instead of just telling things that they feel.
You know, that's interesting you said that. You remember the song Smiling Faces? I think that was it. It was right around the time those little happy faces were around. And this song, and I'm driving along, and I hadn't been on the air in some years. I was like retired. And I could look at rock and roll, middle of the road, all kinds of music objectively, or I thought I could. Mm-hmm. I'm listening to this song, and it said, be watchful of the slap on the back, watch out for the smile and the shake of the hand. And I thought, boy, that's throwing bad pebbles in the brook, creating bad eddies. I didn't like it. I didn't like sending those messages out. Gee, I don't want to be watchful of the shake of the hand and the smile.
Don't want to be watchful to begin with.
No.
Right.
But that's where they were coming from, whoever wrote down that lyric and thought of that tune.
Right.
Right?
What a problem.
Yeah. Well, we've talked a lot about the Between the Lines album. I think we should play something from it, like...
17.
Okay.
I learned the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, here on TWA, Janice Ian.
Hey, Don.
Every time I hear that, I'm really impressed at the singleness of purpose in
It's a good song.
the message I get. More than that, it's, I don't know, I'm learning lately that you can take the greatest artists in the world and without good copy, you're in trouble. No, I mean on stage, on celluloid,
Sure.
on vinyl. You gotta have the copy, and you gotta have the talent, and then magic happens.
Helps. Definitely helps.
Look at all that time it took for that to happen. You knew it was gonna happen, though, didn't you?
I didn't think about it in those terms, I don't think.
You didn't think about commercial success.
I know about commercial success, but not in terms of is it going to happen or when is it going to happen. Just in terms of maybe if I luck in, you know.
Yeah. And if you don't?
C'est la vie.
Great.
What can you do?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's how I thought of things. That's how, I've always been in theater, and I remember reading something by Boleslavsky, who was a student of Stanislavski. And he has a line that's, the theater is worthy of your lifetime, and it may well take it.
Right. Oh, that's absolutely true. That's a terrific line. That's very true. Any art is, though. Any real art takes forever to learn.
Well, speaking of any artist, who does Janice Ian respect and admire?
I like Leonard Cohen and Joan Baez and Little Feat and Leon Redbone, a whole batch of people, a whole lot of people. I like a lot of other singers.
Well, is there anyone that has recorded any of the things that you...
Sure. Baez did Jessie, great. Roberta Flack did Jessie before I did. She did it great.
Why don't we listen to it?
Great.
Jessie, written by Janis Ian, performed by Roberta Flack. I don't think we've ever done that before where we played somebody else.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Well, she certainly gave you credit.
Yeah, she's a good lady.
Yeah, she sure is. So 1976 is going to be a busy one for the best pop vocalist.
Oh, hey.
Oh, wow. And that was so dynamite.
It was fun.
I was excited for you. And I'm glad you smiled. And you know when you gave a little speech, whether you realize it or not, well, I'm sure everybody's already told you this. You came off and you said, "You're not going to believe this. I had this thing all prepared, and people said, no, it was great, just what you did."
Did I say that?
I'm just assuming this all happened, when you went off. You said,
Probably.
Yeah.
I had a terrific speech. I completely forgot it. I don't remember it now. It must not have been that great.
Do you remember what you did say?
I think I said thank you. It's been a long time.
That was it?
I think so, yeah. I hate people who just go into these 4-hour speeches, They thank all the little people.
Bruce, my hairdresser?
Right. My clothier, my car, my Mercedes dealer, the man who hands me my picks as I walk on stage. I don't know, that's, people get into that. Perspectives really become weird.
Yeah. I think there's a way to thank everybody with a
You
look.
just say thank you.
Right. And they know.
Yeah.
From the Between the Lines album with Janice Ian, our TWA in-person guest. When the Party's Over.
I like that track. I like the castanets.
On TWA, this is Pietromonaco, your host, with Janice Ian, and that's When the Party's Over, from the Between the Lines album. And if you don't know it by now, Janice Ian was voted Best Pop Vocalist Female at the Grammy Awards in February.
Right.
Well, it was last February. Boy, this year's going fast.
This year is just moving right along there. It's amazing.
And you're even going to go to Texas.
That's great. I've never been in Texas.
Fort Worth, Dallas.
Very exciting.
Oh, it's a neat place.
I want to buy some boots.
Boots?
Boots.
In Texas. Yeah.
Pointy-toed boots, yeah.
You know what's neat about? She's looking at a Murray the K album that I got when I was a disc jockey, the DJ copy.
Good old Murray.
Right?
Good old Murray.
Murray's still in the air, isn't he, in New York City?
I don't know. I haven't been in New York in so long. I have no idea.
No, wait a minute,
I've been
Janice,
trying to
you
get
just
back
told
in
us
New
that's
York
your
for
home.
months. Oh, that doesn't mean that I get to be there.
Well, what is it like? I don't think people know.
Well, let me see. I was home, I went on the road, I started recording Aftertones in July last year, 75. And I worked in New York July and August, and then I came out to the West Coast September to do the mixing and finish the vocals. I stayed here for a month, and then I had to fly back to New York to do Saturday Night Live at the end of September, or maybe the beginning of October. And then I had a week off, and I stayed home, and then we hit the East Coast, and we worked from Toronto down to Florida. So we were away from home October, November, and the first 2 weeks of December. And then we took off mid-December to mid-January, but I got sick, so I just stayed in bed. And then we left for the Midwest. We did 5 dates in the Midwest. And then we came out here. We did the Roxy, 22 other cities. And now it's now. So we were on the road October, November, half of December, half of January, February, and half of March. And we'll hit it again mid-April. So I had 5 weeks at home in 6 months.
Gee, most people couldn't afford a rent on the house back
Well,
when.
tell me that.
Right. Who feeds Pumpkin?
Oh,
That's her doggy.
Pumpkin's in the kennel. Pumpkin's with these nice
Oh.
ladies who take care of her. They take her home with them at night, I think, and make her roast beef and stuff. It's really ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, she always comes back home fatter than she started out.
You're ruining my dog. I'm not going on the road anymore.
She always comes home and she won't eat what I give her for about a week, I just starve her out. She goes back to canned dog food.
It sounds like a real screen magazine or something.
Yeah, right.
As Janice
My
Ian
dog.
feed her dog.
Anything she'll eat. Anything at all. cheap food. As cheap as possible. Actually, I feed her Calcan.
Calcan?
Calcan's terrific stuff.
See, this may be giving us insight into where you're going in your life.
That's right. That's right. Straight
Ian's
to the dog
Consumer
food business.
Report. Right.
I read that too. Don't laugh.
Really? My dog likes Lifesavers.
Lifesavers. Oh, Pumpkin was into a thing about certs for a while. She would go up onto the dining room table and eat them.
Certs.
Yeah, if you left them laying around.
Just so she didn't take the packs and snacks.
No. That's and her breath always smelled from strawberries. I couldn't figure it out for weeks.
Right. That's funny. Do you have a favorite song that I'm leaving out?
Do I?
Yeah, I know that.
I really like Watercolors. I really like
so
that.
do I. All right, why don't we listen to it?
Great.
Janis Ian here on TWA. It was called Watercolors, and it's from the Between the Lines album on Columbia Records.
With Pietromonaco.
Right. For the past hour, you've been listening to Janis Ian, our in-person guest here on TWA. We've had some real insight in this young lady. She's been called hostile. Right?
Weird.
Weird? Have you been called weird?
I haven't been called weird in a long time.
Oh, that's good. That's a plus.
Right.
Right. From Society's Child to the In Between the Lines album. I want to thank you for being with us.
Well, my pleasure.
Sincerely. God be with you.
Have a nice flight.
All right. And ring the little bell if you need us again.
Right. Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lay down, love and glory. This is a lover's lullaby.
The sound of Janis Ian. What an upfront young lady. Written more things than I can think of, and there are probably a lot more to come. Wow. I'm Pietromonaco, and this has been a real trip. The sight and sounds of Janis Ian here on TWA. If you missed the first portion of our show, just hang on to your seatbelt, and we'll take it from the top shortly. But if you'd like to hear some other great things on this TWA flight, just check the program guide in the Ambassador magazine right there in your seat or in your seat pocket. Meanwhile, have a great time doing whatever you're doing and going wherever you're going. Hope to see you soon, real soon.